Hey, where my leaders at? Where my leaders at? Hopefully you're gonna be here. Uh, this is our monthly leadership, and I know I'm late in doing this, but better late than never. We had Scentsy family reunion this month, and going out of town and doing all the things for that has just left me playing catch up back here. So that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But we still have to move forward, and we have a brand new catalog that is going to be starting on Sunday. I'm super excited for this, and I hope that you guys are too. As we go into this whole season of a brand new catalog, um, there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of anxiousness. There's a lot of um, hopefully some planning and um, really intention putting behind your business. I myself have got my catalogs ready to go out tomorrow. I'm finishing up some samples to send with my catalogs because in the last incentive, I did earn the season sales kit. So I got those bars in, which allows me to make some samples. So I'm really excited to do that and very grateful to have earn that in the last incentive, which of course brings us to hello, starting August 1st, we have a brand new incentive that we will be working towards. I, for one, am making it a vow. I am going to earn level 3 of this upcoming incentive. I was sharing it with my husband before he went to work, and this is something that is a trip that I personally have had on my bucket list since I was probably a little girl. Never ever thought that this would be something that I'd really do. Um, so I'm really excited to see the ability to earn this trip and to be able to earn it for my husband too. And that to me is just something that's it's priceless. It's priceless. It really, really is priceless. But we are going to be having some really, really great conversations and training all about this incentive. So be watching for that. And we'll be making those plans. In the meantime, because we are leaders, um, as we continue to grow our business, build our business, and get comfortable into the role of being a leader, these are there are some things that we can tend to maybe sometimes forget, right? And call it bringing it back to basics, call it what you will, but at the end of the day, our business and being a leader in our business really truly it is something that is duplicatable, that it is not something that should be complicated. It's not something that we need to be recreating the wheel with. Okay. So I'm going to bring you back to some business basics because every catalog season for me is another opportunity to remind myself that yes, it's very easy to get caught up in all of the fancy, shiny new things, right? Everything that's in this catalog is amazing. But along with that, right? So like making the fun samples or thank you packages and all, all this stuff that we do that while yes, it's very I think it's important and I think it all serves an amazing purpose, obviously, which is why we continue to do it. But underneath all of that is really where our basics lie. And we have to be in tune and we have to bring ourselves back to that basic point because it's these basics that help us continue to grow and move forward and promote and have new people joining our team and inspiring them and all the things, right? All the things that we love to do. So it's a great time to do this. All right. So, number one, when it comes to business basics, communication. communication. Communication should be clear and concise. And um, I will say that a lot of team members have completely different reasons and ways that they communicate with their specific team, right? And so when I talk about team, it's for anybody who you have sponsored and their people that they have sponsored, right? So that is, you're beginning to grow your teams, right? Everybody was going to do this a little bit different, just like with our business, right? It's just another snapshot of how we work our personal business, getting that PRV, having new people join our team. When we are in that leadership mindset, it needs to really be focused back on the same thing, right? You're probably not going to lead the same way I am, or the same way he is, or they are, right? Everybody's going to have their own style and way to do things. And this is something you want to lean into, because being able to find your voice as a leader, it's going to change your business. Let me tell you that. And another thing I will tell you is that years ago, when I clicked that join button, I never in a million years thought that I would be still doing this today, to be completely honest. And secondly, that I would really find such joy that comes along with this. So for me, I feel very blessed. I feel very lucky, even though I know luck has nothing to do with it, right? But I feel just very, very humbled by the experience to be able to share these things. And so, however your style of leadership is, whether that is going live, whether that's email communication, maybe it's a chat, maybe it's a text chain, Marco Polo, there's all kinds of different apps that you can connect with people, right? So no matter what it is, it's more or less the fact that you are communicating and that you're defining how often and your method of communication is going to do. Because by doing that, you're going to be able to reach them in a better spot, right? So if you have team members who maybe are more comfortable just keeping on that Facebook chat, then by all means, do a Facebook chat. If you have others who really want that one-to-one, maybe coaching or mentoring call, that's when you want to pour into those people. Um, but again, every consultant is going to be different. Each one of your team members very well might be different. And while we can't give everybody exactly what they want at all times, we still have an obligation to make ourselves at least available, open those channels of communication, right? So if for you that is maybe doing trainings, having Zoom calls or whatever it is, right? Just lean into that, because when we have people who are joining, this happens, I mean, in different parts of our business. So think of it also like if you have somebody that you've reached out to, or maybe you've put a post on social media and they've commented and they're like, oh my gosh, I love Scentsy and I'd love to join your team. I want to join today. I'm ready. Like, I want to do this. I see how great it is and I want to do this. Our initial reaction, or at least mine is probably to like word vomit all over them and be like, oh yeah, you're totally right. It's going to be amazing. We do this, and this. We've got all these Facebook groups. We've got all these training materials. You need to watch this and then go read that book. That's amazing, right? We start to like word vomit all over the place. And what happens to those people? If they've already joined, well, hey, they're here for the show, right? But if they haven't even joined yet, they're like, whoa, hold on, I didn't know it was going to be that intense. Like, I don't know if I'm all ready for that. I wasn't. This was a hobby for me when I joined. So when people started throwing like, oh, you should attend this training. We do this once a month, and I was like, what? I'm just here to, have some fun with this and get my own wax when I want to get my own wax. But we don't want to do that, because the same way that we would do that with somebody who is joining is the same way that we might find ourselves doing that when someone is maybe reaching up and saying, hey, I'm interested. I really want to earn this next incentive, or I'm interested in wanting to promote. I want to get to lead, and I want to start promoting, and I want to start building a team. Our initial reaction sometimes is again to word vomit all the things because we're just so excited. What that ends up doing though, at the same time, while it's great in our head, what it ends up doing is really having that person, they will start to shut down. They will shut down, and they'll probably pull back and they'll pull away because they're like, yeah, I'm not drinking that purple Kool-Aid, okay? Um, so we want to make sure that we are intentional with how we're communicating, how often we're communicating, and when we are. Like there's certain parts of every single month that I think are going to be most beneficial as a leader for your team. Certainly reaching out in communication, again, whatever that format is, at the beginning of a month, letting them know kind of what to expect, especially at the beginning of a brand new catalog. For probably the majority of our team members who have joined recently, this is their first time having a new catalog change. They have no idea what that really means, what to expect, how it really works, right? Um, so we need to be sure that we are communicating that. Another like touch point that I like to have is usually around the middle of the month. That is the point to where if I have people who have already talked about having goals for the month or for the upcoming season or incentive, whatever it is, um, now's the time at the middle, during the middle of the month, to really do that check-in and say, okay, how are things going? How can I be of assistance? And sitting down with them, because that still gives them the opportunity to have usually about 2 more weeks left to either hit that goal, work more towards that promotion. Maybe they're trying to sponsor someone. Maybe they did just sponsor someone and they're kind of lost and how to really bring them along, right? So usually the middle of a month is a good touch point. And then again at the end of the month. That is really to me more of a overview kind of a touch point, right? So it is maybe sometimes it's acknowledging what they did well this month. And by well, that can mean a myriad of different things. Um, for some consultants, getting active is a big milestone for them. So no matter if you think that that's not really something that's huge and exciting, to that person, it's very exciting. And so we want to acknowledge that. We want to let them know that, yes, I see you. It is a great thing that you're getting active because that's how you begin to start those atomic habits, right? All of these habits that we talk about building our business and growing our business and things like this, they all start at that beginning stage, specifically for us in getting active. Getting active every single month is a really big and exciting thing for us as leaders and for our team members specifically, because again, that's where they are starting to build those habits. They're learning either how to follow up with customers, or they're learning how to start conversations with new people or existing customers, right? Letting them know that these are the things that are going to be available, whether it's limited time offers or even just samples, right? All of the things that we do. So we want to make sure that we're acknowledging every milestone, big or small, with our team. Um, so being intentional is going to allow you to see a drastic shift in how they respond back. I know I talk to a lot of leaders who will say that they have a problem with their team engaging. And to that I say, okay, yes, you're going to have, again, just like we talk about all the time, right? There's going to be people who are on your team who are working this as a business, and those who are just doing this as a hobby, or they joined because they just love the product and they just want to be able to get it when they want it. Not everyone has the same end goal as you do. Not everyone who joins your team is going to be as excited as maybe you are. Not everybody who is on your team is going to have the same mindset of, oh, trainings, where are they? I want to be involved in all the trainings, right? They may not be there. And it's okay to recognize that. It does not reflect on if you are a good or bad leader. At the end of the day, it truly is just serving your team members, just like we serve our customers. We need to be serving our team members. So if to them this is a hobby, then that's fine. Now we know, and now we can make a note, right? And say, okay, I know that this is a hobby for Sally. And so I know that as a hobbyist, maybe once a month I can reach out to Sally. Just reminder of what's going on, maybe what's going to be coming up, right? Just a quick touch point. But if Sally is somebody who has told me before that she, again, is interested in doing this as a business, a side gig, making a certain amount in income every month, right? Then again, that's where I'm going to make sure, okay, those 3 touch points, I'm going to make sure that I'm checking in at least in some form or another with that team member. Next up is accountability. I think accountability is huge, just in general, but specifically with our business, accountability will speak volumes to your team. It will speak volumes. Kind of like the saying that a picture says 1,000 words, right? Accountability says 1,000 words to your team members, okay? So you're going to have team members who may be polar opposites. You're going to have some people who may be self-driven and they're like, hey, I got a goal. I'm running for it. I'm going to get that goal. I got this. They don't need you, right? They're like, yeah, fine. You can check it all you want, but like, I'm focused. I know what I'm doing over here. And that's fine. They're probably more self-motivated. They probably already have goals in mind that they've already set for themselves and they know how to reach those goals. They might reach out with specific questions or help from time to time, but you're probably going to have some that are very independent. Those are like my oldest children, right? Like they're very independent. They usually will come back when, especially my oldest, because it never fails. She always loses like her birth certificate or something. And she's like, Mom, right? That's when the call comes back. That's fine. That's when I reach out. That's when I help. That's when I'm digging in. That's when I'm giving back to what they need. So we don't want to rule them out, but at the same time, we want them to stay their course, right? Because if that's working for them and they're self-driven and motivated and goal-driven and all the things, then let them ride that train, because all you're going to do is just end up being a bump in the road on their journey. When they need you, they will let you know. On the flip side of that is your hobbyist. It also is going to include people who maybe they do really want this, whether it's a side income, full-time income, pay that car payment, whatever it is. They've got some things that they want to accomplish with this business, but they may not have that self-motivation or the ability to be self-driven. It's just not there. Those are the people that we want to make sure that we are including them and we are showing them accountability in our own business. And at the end of the day, most of our team is going to take their cues from us. They are going to look at us as experts, right? I never will call myself an expert in anything because I'm always learning, right? But I've been around the block a couple of times, but I still don't know everything. I still don't have all the answers to everything, and I never will. I never want to, because if that's the case, then I've peaked out, right? There's nowhere for me to go if I know it all. We don't know everything, and we are constantly learning and growing ourselves the same way that our teams are going to be doing that too. We want to make sure that they see us acknowledging and being accountable in our own business. And maybe that looks like sharing how you're working your business, if that's daily, if that's weekly, if it's every, whatever your schedule looks like, right? You need to be sharing with your team members how it is you work your business, because again, that's where they're going to take their cues. For me, for a long time, when I worked for the health system and I was working all the hours and in the office and sometimes at home, and it was literally crazy town. But I still made sure that my team members knew yeah, I worked this job and yeah, I had a job that I could not be on Facebook or answer messages. Sometimes maybe a text during the day, in between meetings or whatever it was that I was doing at work. But there was no, oh, I'll just hop into the chat or I'll hop on Facebook and see what's going on today. I wasn't able to do that till I got home, after I cooked dinner, after all the things when I got home, right? And my team still, they knew that, they recognized that, and but they knew they would wait until they would see me post online, or they would see me go live, or they'd see me check in on the team page, right? They still knew I was gonna show up. They just knew I had my other job that I had to take care of. So just because you may have other things that come up doesn't mean that you are not sharing that with your team, because again, your team members are probably in some part of the same situation that you are. They may have that job outside of the world of Scentsy, right? Yeah, there's worlds outside of Scentsy. So they also may be struggling with that balance. How do I work a business and work my job and take care of the family and go to the groceries? How does all this stuff actually work? Those are the cues that they're getting from you. So while you may think, oh, I really don't have anything to contribute, just by showing up, you are sharing and showing them how to do this, how to create that balance in their life. When I first started, I was working overnights in the ER. I'm talking 12-hour shifts. And even then, I only worked 3 nights a week, but I was always pulling any overtime they would give. So sometimes it turned into 4 nights or 5 nights a week, overtime, 12-hour shifts. And let me tell you, I was a tired mama. I was tired, but I made sure that even though I was tired, I may only have 10 minutes before, I would get, I was when Madison was little, right? She was still in diapers when all this was happening. And so even though I might only have 10 minutes for I had to run out the door, I was checking in on my team page. Hey guys, I've been sleeping today because I worked extra last night or whatever happened, right? Share with me what you need help with. And then when I have my day off on Saturday, I'm going to catch up and we're going to get through all of this together, right? Communication, accountability. I'm letting them know I didn't disappear. I know it might seem like that sometimes, right? But I didn't disappear. I'm still here. I'm still doing the thing, just like they're doing the thing. So, do they see you posting on social media? And if so, what are you posting? Are you posting anything about your business? Are you posting about how right now, like, are you excited about the catalog? What are you loving? What are you going to miss? What are you adding to your Scentsy Club, right? These kind of things. Are you sharing your goals with your team? Are you sharing those goals? Because again, they want to take those cues from you. And they have to see that we are here working it just right along with them, right? We are shoulder to shoulder with our team members. I don't care if you're one title above or 5 titles above your team members, you are still working your business just like your team members are every single month, right? Every single superstar director you see starts out at 0 every single month on the first, right? Just like we do. Every single SSC you see that kills it and is slaying it in the game has 0 new team members on the first of every month. You are seeing how every single month they're working their business, they're having conversations, they are doing the things that they need to do to move their business forward. So while it may not seem like, oh, I'm going to make felt samples today, my team already knows how to make samples, they don't care. The point is not how you're making your samples, or they want to learn how to do how you do your samples. The point is they see you working. That's the takeaway. It doesn't matter what it is. And it really comes down to, if you're telling your team to, hey, you need to be watching the news section of your workstation. Hey, did you see in the Facebook group, there's some images that people posted that we can share to show the new catalog off or some of the new warmers, right? If you're not showing up in those places, then how can we ask our team members to do that, right? Again, they're going to take their cues from us. If they see us participating, if they see us doing all these things, then they're going to know, oh, well, that's what I do when I'm really focused on this business as a business opportunity. Next is going to go into give more than you take. And this is one of my favorite things when it comes to Scentsy. When you learn something or you have success with something, I don't care what it is in your business. It could be sales, it could be sponsoring, it could be graphics, it could be whatever. Are you sharing these things with your team? Or are you keeping it all in here? Nope, this is mine. No one can see what I have. That's an arrows in mentality, right? We want to be arrows out. How can we help? How can we share the things that are working for us or the things that I've had success with? How can I share that with others? I, there's room at the top for all of us. I know that you've heard that a million times in this business, specifically ours. I don't know about all the other companies, I just don't know. But specifically with ours, there's 419 people in my group. All 419 people could be superstar directors. Everybody has the same opportunity as I do, as you do, as she does, as they do, as he does, right? Every one of us does. It all comes down to, are we going to work for it? Are we going to put in the time? Are we going to be consistent? Are we going to have that growth mindset and that leadership mindset of, I want to be arrows out. How can I help everybody? And you've probably heard me say it a million trillion times. I'm working towards superstar director and I'm bringing everybody with me, right? Because it's true. I have nothing that I'm like, ooh, if I share this with everybody, then what's going to happen to my business? My business is completely different than everybody else's. My business is completely differently ran than anybody's, right? Just like yours is completely different than mine. Does not mean that you're going to have success. Does not mean that you're not going to fail. But good leaders build themselves and then they reach back and bring people with them, right? So it's the concept truly of giving more than you take in, yes, I'm going to grow and thrive. And this is something I'm really good at, or this is something that I found success with. And these Facebook parties that I'm doing now, oh my goodness, they're killing it, right? I want to share all of that with my team because I want them to have the same success. So if you're doing things in your business that you're finding success or you're finding works really well or really gives you that work-life balance, whatever it is that you're struggling with or you see your team struggling with, is when you want, again, reach out and bring them with you. You want them in the door, not standing on the other side of it. Because for one, that's not serving them. And it may seem like it's serving you, but it's not serving you. Because at the end of the day, we are stronger together than we are individually. And let me tell you right now, you cannot continue to grow in this business all by yourself. You are not an island. So we have to be inclusive in bringing everybody with us. Doesn't mean I'm going to lose customers if I share how I did my Facebook party and had great success. Oh my gosh, now she's going to take all my customers. That's not how this works. My customers are different, right? So we want to give more than we take. We want to bring people with us all the way. Authenticity needs to be your calling card. Authenticity. If you aren't good at something yet, yes, that's a really good 3-letter word, right? Yet, that's okay. Because trust me, I'm not good at everything yet. I'm still learning. I'm still trying new things. I'm still showing up. I'm still trying to find different ways to find new customers and find new ways to be better in my follow-up. All of these things are things that we're going to struggle with, and we're going to learn how to overcome them if we are consistent and dedicated and focused and intentional with our business. So in that same breath, we want our team members to also have that mindset. And it really boils down to, Cassie Baker said it really great, one of our directors in Bliss. And I've never let her I want to say I've never let her live it down since, but when she shared something with me, it was a short video. I was one of those days, I was just having a bad day. We've all had those days, right? Where I feel like nothing's working. I've reached out to everybody. Nobody wants to buy. And I've talked to, like, I've got this kit over here I'm trying to like give away and nobody's wanting to take it. Like, it was one of those days, right? And I'd reached out to Cassie and I was just like, oh, I'm in my feels today. I'm in my head and I can't get out. Maybe I need to go like binge something stupid on Netflix for a minute. She's like, no, 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 no. Watch this. She sent me like this little TikTok video, and it was about a belief mindset. And I mean, as many times as I've probably heard like growth mindset, belief mindset, all the mindsets, um, and read about them in all the books, right? It was just something about it that at that moment, it was just like, oh, duh. I believe in myself. I believe in my team. Yeah, today sucked. That doesn't mean tomorrow's going to suck. So I had to, and you guys will too, and your team members will as well, have those days. But if we are authentic and sharing those days when, yeah, it's really easy to share when we've accomplished something or we've promoted or we earn that incentive, right? Or whatever it is. That's really easy to share those things. What isn't easy is sharing the hard things and that icky middle part, right? From where you started to where you end up. That's really the hard pieces to share. And I try to share those pieces, and I know I need to do better at sharing more of them. But I find that as I share what I think are the icky pieces, that it really has a benefit to others. And that's simply because we all go through the icky pieces. And they're going to continue to happen. Even if tomorrow we all promote to superstar director and we're living the high life, we might be living the high life, but we're still going to have the days. It feels like we're being dragged down. So sharing those more raw moments with your team is going to show them, for one, you're authentic. You're not just trying to say, oh yeah, this is, oh, so easy. This business is so easy. You can totally do this in your sleep. No, you can't. No, you can't. You have to start telling your team these things and reminding them of these things, because I think as good leaders, it's up to us to remind them you're going to have the icky parts and there's going to be bad days, but trust me, those good days are just going to be so much sweeter because you've gotten through the icky pieces to get there. And just like we do, at least I do with my kids, I try and remind them, do you remember where you were 6 months ago? Are you doing better now? Right? It's that piece of a belief mindset to say, I believe in myself. I know I'm on the right path. I may not know it all yet, but I'm going to damn well give it my best shot. And I'm going to keep going, no matter how hard it gets. Your team, if you start letting them think that there are no icky parts or you don't have the bad days, they're going to soon realize, they're going to be like, really, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? It's not. Life isn't that way. Why would this business be any different? You're going to see the ebb and the flow. So you have to let them know that that's coming, or reassure them. Yeah, it's been a slow month. I know. Trust me, been there, done that, made a t-shirt. But next month, I have no idea what's about to happen, and neither do you. So let's start this. Let's do this. Let's put some things in motion and let's get going. Those are the ways that we get through. And if, like I said, you don't share that with your team, then they're going to lose that trust that they have within you as their sponsor or as their leader. And that trust is something that doesn't come overnight. But let me tell you, you can lose that in a split second if you try and tell them something different. If you try and make them believe there's no bad days. What are you talking about? That's so easy. You can just do some sales. You can hit 500. Psh, so easy. I'd be like, no, I don't believe you. So that like or that no like trust factor, while we talk about that with customers a lot, right? It needs to be the same for our team members. They need to know, like, and trust us and know that, yeah, we're going to be here even on the bad days. And if you're too worried about looking important to your team members, then again, that's arrows in. We got to be arrows out. We have to. Tending to the needs of your team. Maybe it's the mom in me, but I think that just like with a garden, just like with we have Heidi Thompson's given us this beautiful butterfly concept, right? Of growing and blossoming and coming out of the chrysalis, right? And kind of moving past and growing through all of the hard parts. We have to do the same for our team. So we need to tend to them and we need to give them things that are truly going to be things that they can sink their teeth into. And when I say that, again, having conversations with your team members, I don't care if you're doing coaching calls or the chat or you got a team page started, whatever it is, making those relationships with your team members, and it doesn't have to be you're all best friends, right? But it's making relationships to where they feel comfortable asking you when they need help. And you're able to also tap into them to see, hey, I've noticed, last month you did really great. And this month it hasn't been so great. So maybe something I can help with. How's your follow-up system going? Do you have one? If not, let's talk about that. What would be a good system for you? What would work for you? Maybe it's Amy, maybe it's, just using the workstation and using the order tab, going through the history. Doesn't matter how it's done, it just matters that it's getting done. So tending to your team and taking time to notice is going to help you to build those relationships. I've seen team members start off like literally out of the gate on fire. And I've seen them promote all the way up to superstar consultant. And then all of a sudden, it seems like it's, the next day, but really it's, a few months later that I see them start to fizzle out. And as I was coming into my own as a leader, looking back, I was like, oh, if only I had taken time to maybe reach out to those people. Because maybe it was life just got hard, right? Because life happens. We all know this. We've lived through those, even more recently, right? Like it's gotten tough. So I had those moments where I kicked myself, like maybe I could have done more. Maybe I should have reached out more. And I probably screwed it all up. I can learn from those experiences and say, okay, maybe I could have helped. Maybe I couldn't have helped. Maybe it had absolutely nothing to do with me or this business or whatever. It was just they were done. They figured out it wasn't for them or what have you. Life got in the way. It's just not their time. So either way, by forming those relationships and being able to connect with them, you are going to find that you're going to be able to better serve them and tend to the needs that they really do have. If you do have a team page, I will say make sure that whatever it is that you're posting in that team page is truly serving the needs of your team. Meaning, if you're just copying and pasting what you've seen in other groups and pulling it in, for your team members, it's like, I just saw that in like 3 other groups. Why do I need to see that in here? I don't get it. I don't understand. It's true, right? So we have to make sure that we're not just copy and paste leaders. That's not who we are. We need to be authentic to who we are as individuals. So be authentic to yourself. And that authenticity is going to come out in your leadership style. So it may look like going live every so often and just being silly or having fun or getting excited again about what's in the new catalog or what's coming up this month or, oh my gosh, I just did the LTOs. Those are the things that your team members are going to be able to really latch onto. And they'll be like, oh, this is why I joined her team or his team, right? This is what I wanted when I wanted to join Scentsy was this, the connection and the excitement and the fun and not the copy and paste. I mean, just as I say that, I mean, we try and tell our team members, you know, make sure you check on the workstation, right? And yeah, it's sometimes gonna fly over some people's heads and they're like, yeah, I didn't catch that, didn't see that. That's okay. It's okay. But trust me, they're gonna see the copy and paste somewhere else, whether it's in another page that they're on or just on Facebook in general. I see a lot of consultants who just literally just post it all out there, right? Everything's copy and paste. But again, really leaning into that authenticity and building upon that as a leader is going to take you much farther. Everything that you post in your team page really needs to have a purpose. So I'm going to tell you the three things that I ask myself every single time that I go to post an intentional post in my team page. So I will ask myself, one, is it helpful? Is what I'm posting going to be helpful to someone, to anyone? Maybe it's just to me. It's helpful to just, okay, you got to put it out there so don't forget it. Two, is it empowering or motivational in some way? Because as leaders, right, we want to be that source of empowerment or motivation or inspiration, right? Even on the days that we may not feel it, right? It was okay. But being intentional and making sure we're putting that up out there. And number three, is it serving your team? Again, that copy and paste isn't going to serve them. But maybe that news article that came out, you're like, oh my gosh, I have a great idea of how this could work. I'm going to post in my team and share with them my idea. So, what that might do is help them get their wheels turning. Or your team members who may or may not know where to start with something, like, how do I promote this? What would be a good way to do this? What would be a good way to share this with my customers? You're going to help solve that problem for them by giving them an idea, right? And I know that you've seen it in the main 365 group. Lisa is really good at sharing those sample posts. Tracy's really good, and some of the other directors are really good about sharing those in the Bliss group. Those can be very, very helpful to our team members who either find it hard to really put it all together, or again, right? Maybe their life is just busy and they're like, I do not have time to sit down and think up something clever to post in my customer pages or on my Instagram or whatever, right? Those are the people who are going to really appreciate those sample posts. So if you can recognize that within your team to say, hey, I noticed they don't post very often, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, maybe I can try putting out some sample posts, right? So you can, of course, use the ones that you see in the other groups, create some of your own. How can I help my team members to see something and maybe have a bit of inspiration with that and then put their own spin on it? Those are great ways for your team members to learn. So if you're asking yourself those three questions every time that you put like an intentional post in there, and if you are saying no to those three questions, if it doesn't fill a yes for three of those things, then don't post it. Honestly, because at the end of the day, it's not going to come off as authentic. It probably really isn't going to help the team, right? So if it's not going to serve your team, it's a waste of space. So maybe it would be more helpful to do that sample post. Maybe it would be more helpful to say, hey, I created a graphic here. Maybe this will help you. Look, I've taken my information off. So now you can use whatever program you use, or just hand write it on there, print it out and hand write it. I don't care what it looks like. Your customers at the end of the day don't really care. We care because that's how we are. But our customers at the end of the day could care less if it was all pretty and perfect. They just want to be able to get the Scentsy that they want to buy, whether it looks pretty and perfect when it comes or not. So being able to center yourself and bring yourself back to the basics when it comes to your business and as a leader, I hope that these things are ways and points that you can touch back on. Even myself, I've been doing this since 2012. I cannot believe I'm coming up on 10 years. I've been through a lot of catalog transitions, a lot. And I can tell you, I've had team members come, I've had them go, I've had them come again and then go. Sometimes come back a third time. But it's fine because they're going to see that I'm the constant. I'm going to be here. I mean, hopefully I'm going to continue to keep moving upward, right? But I'm still going to be here doing the damn thing every single month. Even on the days that I may not feel like it. I may have to take a break on those days, but I'm still going to be there. And so are you. Because as you guys are dedicated to building this business for filling your why and filling your own purpose, you're going to start to see, and some of you already are seeing, the results of what you're pouring into your team and how you're truly serving them. Because you're seeing them either promote or have amazing PRV months. Get that new team member. Oh my gosh, how exciting. You see somebody earn sensational start. Oh my goodness. I get so excited when I see others do those things, almost more than I would even see myself, because I'm somebody who's like, oh, I don't do anything special over here, right? But I get super excited to see them. And that's the energy that your team member is going to really respond to. They are going to feed off of your energy and excitement and dedication and consistency. Because again, they're looking to you for their cues. How do you keep this business successful? They're going to watch to see what you do and be like, okay, posting, maybe sharing pictures, videos, going live every so often, opening a new box when they get stuff in. Maybe I can try some of those things. And again, remembering that when you are doing something and you're seeing success, or even you have an idea for something and you haven't even tried it yet, share it with your team members. Because you'd be surprised to see that some team members are going to, again, usually it comes down to those ones who are self-driven and motivated, and they're like, I got this, that they are going to be able to pour back into you. And when that happens, oh, the heavens open, the angels start singing. You're like, I'm doing something right. You guys are going to have those moments. And I can't wait for you guys to continue to grow. And as we go into this new catalog season, I want you guys to really believe in yourself. Have that belief mindset. All you have to do is have the belief in you. Have the belief to know that, yes, I may not do everything right, but I'm going to learn something from it. Yeah, I'm going to try this new way of doing parties or reaching out and following up with customers. May or may not work, but if it doesn't work, at least I've checked it off the list as, yep, tried that, not for me, moving on. There are 100 different ways to work this business. There's 100 different ways to be a leader in this business. And I will tell you that no matter how many ways there are, as long as you are being authentic, consistent, dedicated, and tending to your team, you are going to be one hell of a leader. I am so excited for what's to come, you guys. I see big things for all of us. I want to thank you guys for showing up today and taking time out of your day to watch this. For those who couldn't attend, hashtag the replay. We're going to go into this new catalog strong, you guys, and get ready because, like I said, I've got some incentive information coming and we're going to make some plans. So if you guys are with me, we're going on an Alaskan cruise. It's going to be so exciting. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.